warm welcome to Zanis TV News. We are broadcasting to you from Mass Media Complex in Lusaka. I am your presenter, Nambula Mwangala, and my sign language interpreter is Jennifer Shalionde. Let's look at the top stories making headlines. Ukraine pledges support to Zambia in first droughts. Government receives 1.6 million kwacha dividends from ZCCM Investment Holding. CEEC distributes fish cages to cooperatives in Senanga, and veteran football coach advocates for early talent identification. And now the news in detail. Ukrainian Minister of Foreign Affairs Dmytro Kuleba says his country will support Zambia to navigate through the drought crisis. Speaking when he called on President Hakainde Hichilema at State House today, Dr. Kuleba said Ukraine is determined to explore areas of trade in Zambia to further strengthen the bilateral relations between the two countries. Sande Walia gives us the details.
The effects of drought, which has impacted communities negatively in the country, has attracted development assistance from various stakeholders. Ukraine has promised support to Zambia to help navigate through the adverse effects of climate change.
We appreciate the political solidarity that your country and you personally have expressed against the background of the Russian aggression against Ukraine. My president is grateful for your personal efforts and your personal participation in the group of African leaders who visited Ukraine seeking peace solution. And he conveys his words, his highest regard to you, and the assurance that Ukraine is willing to restore just and lasting peace, and believes that Africa has a role to play in this effort. And today, in our discussions, I intend to raise these issues. Also, our bilateral agenda, because the second purpose of my visit is to explore new opportunities in trade and cooperation between our nations. Finally, I would like to mention that upon instruction of President Zelensky, following your interaction with him, Zambia was included in the Grain from Ukraine program, and we will be able to deliver assistance to Zambia in light of the drought that your country is suffering from.
And President Hakainde Hichilema welcomed the gesture by Ukraine for offering support to Zambia despite the ongoing conflicts in that country.
And your graciousness to, amidst impossible conditions, to think about the people of Zambia, to support the people, us towards drought mitigation is well appreciated. Please pass this message to President Zelensky, the government, and the people of Ukraine, and that this gesture means a lot to us. And that's one of the reasons that post the war, we must work together even more in different areas.
Mr. Hichilema also indicated that the desire of Zambia, SADC, African Union, and United Nations global system is to see to it that conflicts in Ukraine come to an end.
Beyond our bilateral relationship, our expectation is that this agenda, centrality of this agenda item remains so on the SADC platform, which we are members of, on the African Union platform, and indeed on our partnership with the UN global system, that this should be high on the agenda. That is why Zambia has consistently been voting at the UN towards ending hostilities.
Sunday for Zanis in Lusaka.
In other news, Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo has called on the church to take a leading role in the dissemination of information not only to the church but also surrounding communities. Speaking in Chingola during the launch of the Promise TV, the first ever television station in the district owned by Family of Jesus Church, Mr. Matambo said government has prioritized freedom of information where institutions like churches are expected to play a key role. Move in the following report by Ian Chomba.
The church plays a key role in the dissemination of the word of God among its members and surrounding communities. With the coming of the New Dawn government under the able leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, a government which has placed freedom of information as one of the key priority areas in the national development agenda, and the church is expected to play a key role in the dissemination of information to its members and the public. Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo, who officiated the opening of the first ever church-owned television station in Chingola, Promise TV, said government expects the church to play a key role in the dissemination of accurate and unbiased information to church members and the public.
The Bible in Matthew chapter 28, verse 19 to 20 says, "Go therefore to all nations and make disciples." And this is what exactly this TV station is going to do. His Excellency the President has been preaching about morals in our country. We also need TV stations which will be professional, and this one I'm sure, very sure, under the leadership of the servant of God, it will be professional and call a spade and not a spade a spoon.
Chingola Member of Parliament Chipoka Mulenga also expects the church, through the new television station, to improve the flow of information in the local communities.
It's a great milestone here in Chingola, where we are going to have our first ever TV station. And I pray genuinely and earnestly that as this TV will be launched today by the ministry, it remains to be the salt of this land.
I want to assure you, honorable ministers, that to be proud of what will come out of this land. Personally, I don't compromise with the voice of the Holy Spirit, because we need to acknowledge the presence of the government. No matter how big and great you are, government is the father of everyone in the nation.
Local people are happy with the development.
Promise TV, it is a blessing in our lives, especially as Chingola people of Zambia.
Promise TV has come to me as a blessing. I think from time immemorial, I was wondering whether such an opportunity would be given to this town and indeed to the nation and across the borders of Zambia.
Ian Chomba reporting for Zanis in Chingola.
The Ministry of Finance and National Planning has received over 41.6 million kwacha as dividends from ZCCM Investment Holdings for 2023 financial year. Speaking in Lusaka during the handover of the check held in Lusaka, ZCCM Investment Holdings Chief Executive Officer Ndoba Vibeti announced that since 2015, ZCCM Investment Holding has paid out dividends surpassing 1.6 billion kwacha to its shareholders. Minister of Finance and National Planning Stumbeko Msokotwane, who received the check, stated that government looks forward to the expansion of other mining companies.
I'm pleased to be here this morning to hand over a dividend check of 41.6 million kwacha to the Ministry of Finance and National Planning from ZCCM-IH. The ministry holds a 17.4% stake on behalf of the government of the Republic of Zambia. On Monday last week, we delivered 2 dividend checks totaling 182 million kwacha to our other shareholders, namely the Industrial Development Corporation and the National Pension Scheme Authority, NAPSA. To date, the total dividends paid to all ZCCM-IH shareholders since 2015 now exceeds 1.6 billion kwacha. Our capacity to distribute these dividends to shareholders stems from our consistent positive performance over the past decade, anchored on our profitability. These developments, among others, will make a substantial contribution to the country's economic growth and also aligns with the government's vision to elevate Zambia's yearly copper production to 3 million metric tons by 2032. Sir, we extend our gratitude to the Ministry of Finance for its unwavering support in our endeavor to create sustainable wealth for the benefit of the Zambian people and all our shareholders.
On behalf of the Zambian people, I want to say that their money will be looked after very carefully. It will be deployed very carefully, and of course in line with what the Parliament, people's representatives, what they've prescribed. As you recall, in the past few years, this administration has tried very hard under very challenging circumstances to ensure that what Parliament says, this is how you're going to spend the money, that is precisely what we do. Government has worked very hard to pull these assets away from continuous litigation. That's why the President was saying mining was not happening underground. Mining was taking place in courts. Suing each other, taking each other to court, case after case. But while that was happening, production was going down and down. So we look forward to the expansion in First Quantum. We look forward to the expansion of all these mining companies that I mentioned, because the more they produce, the more the dividends they pay. But on top of that, separately, the more the taxes they pay. So this is why we've worked very hard in the last 2-3 years to stop the litigations. So with all this, I'm confident that in the coming few years, your checks that you'll be delivering will be getting bigger and bigger. But for now, I want to thank you so much for this check of 41.6 million.
Also in the news, Ministry of Infrastructure, Housing and Urban Development Permanent Secretary Albert Malama says Zambia currently has a housing deficit of 1.5 million. Professor Malama states that this has prompted governments to enter an agreement with cooperating partners to construct houses and cushion the housing backlog. The permanent secretary was speaking during the signing of a memorandum of understanding with the National Housing Authority and Ongos Valley. Professor Malama added that the housing project is expected to commence in the next 4 months and be completed within a year. And Ongos Valley Executive Business Affairs and Projects, Vaughan Peterson, said with the Smart Partnership, his organization will help to solve the current housing deficits in the country. In Western Province, Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission Director General Muwe Mongole has cautioned leaders of cooperatives against underperformance. He said this yesterday in Senanga when he oversaw the distribution of fish cages that were repossessed from cooperatives earlier in January. Details in the following reports.
As a Citizens Economic Empowerment Commission, CEEC lives up to its principle of upholding teamwork, integrity, accountability, transparency, professionalism, and fairness. As such, when beneficiaries do not align with these principles, interventions are applied. In this regard, CEEC Director General was yesterday in Senanga District to redirect fish cages that were repossessed in January to other cooperatives that are willing to put them to good use. Speaking at a meeting with the cooperative leaders in Senanga, CEEC Director General Dr. Muwe warned against underperformance from the new cooperatives, implying that CEEC would not hesitate to repossess the cages.
If you don't perform, we get them from you. We give them to other deserving people right here in Western Province. So you are not the only ones. You are just privileged that you should be considered to have the cages.
On the other hand, Dr. Mue pledged that CEC would increase funding to the cooperatives if it puts the cages to productive use.
If you put to good use these cages, we can actually even fund more for you to have more cages. And eventually you can grow the number of cages on your own from the profits you make.
Dr. Mue also urged the cooperatives to consolidate CEEC's efforts by raising their own money as well.
But you, as cooperators, you are supposed to make a contribution to the objective you are pursuing so that you can achieve it. Isn't that one of the principles that brings together people to work together? Is to pull together.
Dr. Mulungwe also encouraged the cooperatives to add value to the fish once it's harvested.
We want now to go into value addition. The fish that you produce, we have given you cold rooms, everything. On top of that, we will buy the processor.
These interventions by CEEC underscore its dedication to promoting economic empowerment through collaborative and transparent practices. Francis Kalenga reporting for Zanis in Senanga District, Western Province.
We now take our first break. Join us for more news when we return.
The Issue is a program that looks at topical issues happening in the country. Watch The Issue every Friday at 19:30 hours, only on Zanis TV, Channel 6 DTT and Channel 458 DTH on Topstar. Don't miss.
Woman Thou Art is a program that offers counsel to the female folk, sharing real-life experiences and providing guidance to the women and young girls on necessary steps and conduct that will help shape and nurture a sober society. Watch Woman Thou Art on Zanis TV every Wednesday at 18:30 hours on the Topstar channel, Channel 6 DTT and Channel 458 DTH.
Welcome back. Zanis News continues. 13 youth groups in Mansa district have been given micro grants by a United States philanthropic organization, Bloomberg Philanthropies, to implement projects aimed at combating climate change. The financing of the youth-led projects follows the selection of the Mansa Municipal Council to be among other local authorities across the world that have received a grant of $50,000 United States to carry out various climate change projects. Godfrey Chikumbi now reports.
The Mansa municipality is one of the 100 cities globally to have been selected by the Bloomberg Philanthropies as a beneficiary of the Youth Climate Action Fund. The New York-based philanthropic organization has given Mansa $50,000 to be disbursed as microgrants to successful youth groups in the district. The youth organizations are executing projects aimed at combating climate challenges. Mansa Mayor Njiko Msuku has officially launched the fund with a call on the selected youth groups to apply the funds to their intended purposes if the council is to be entitled to more funding.
As we confront the environmental challenges of our time, this project will inject much needed dynamism into our local efforts. I must emphasize the importance of prudent utilization of these funds that have been provided to you. It is crucial that every cent of the microgrants is spent in accordance with the proposal that you had submitted to us. This is not just a matter of financial accountability, it's about honoring the trust placed on you and ensuring that every project delivers results. One thing I've been taught is that people don't care what you say. They are really interested in results.
According to Bloomberg Philanthropies, cities that commit their initial funding within 6 months become eligible for an additional $100,000 to support even more youth-led projects. Civic leaders who attended the launch expressed confidence that the projects will be successfully implemented.
Very, very big problem, which is a global problem. We have seen how it has impacted negatively. We have seen the shortage of rains. We have seen that even the harvest has been impacted negatively. So it's us as youths here today that are employed to find solution.
The importance of preserving our environment, then we know that Zambia, 10 years from now, our environment will be safe, because there will be that sense of protection inculcated in the young generation.
For Zanis TV, Godfrey Chikumbi reporting in Mansa.
In health news, National Food and Nutrition Commission Head of Public Health and Community Nutrition Units, Reda Habulembe, has called for immediate preventive measures to avoid a severe malnutrition crisis in Zambia. Ms. Habulembe says there is need for the country to adopt an intensive approach for nutrition, social behavior change communication to target all key community members. She states that data from the recent Midline and Smart Surveys commissioned her institution indicates that Central Province is among the regions which are at high risk of malnutrition, as many families already face hunger and are unable to put nutritious food on the table. Ms. Habulembe was speaking in Kabwe when she paid a courtesy call on Central Province Permanent Secretary Muna Mwanakampwe, and Dr. Mwanakampwe noted that despite the progress made to combat malnutrition, nutrition remains a critical issue for Zambia's health and economic prosperity.
There isn't much change in most of them, although we have done a lot of progress in others. The reason being the issues of the COVID and the other calamities that have occurred. It hasn't allowed us to progress very well, but I can assure you that we are trying hard to make sure that the situation in the country changes.
The positive milestones that were recorded in those various districts are something that have left an indelible mark, and we don't take that for granted. We are aware that as a province, the project under SANTA is winding up, and we have been lamenting and hoping that our colleagues through USAID would hear our cry that they are actually withdrawing at a very critical time in a year which is quite delirious, when we had this El Nino thing that brought the drought, and as a result most of the homes or the households, as it were, in the province are stressed.
In education news, Primrose Community Health Organization in Kafiwe has donated 40 by 2-seater desks to Mafungausi Primary School of Kambale Ward in Chiawa Chiefdom. Primrose Executive Director Kenan Ngambi says the 40 desks brings the total number of desks donated to schools in Kafiwe to 120 this year. Here is a report.
In a bid to supplement the government's effort in ensuring that all schools have enough desks and that no child sits on the floor during lessons, Primrose Community Health Organization in Kafiwe has donated 40 desks to Mafungausi Primary School of Kambale Ward in Chiawa Chiefdom. Primrose Executive Director Kenan Ngambi said his organization has so far donated 120 desks to schools in Kafiwe this year.
We came to donate 40 desks to a school that has the school desk deficits for some time. So as we have donated the 40 desks, we believe and know that these desks will go a long way in helping to motivate not only the learners at this school, but again also we believe that school performance will be enhanced as the learners will be able to sit comfortably on these desks so that they can change their lives in the coming days and weeks and months and years.
Kafiwe District Education Board Secretary Belina Mono said the donated desks will go a long way in mitigating the desk challenges in the district.
See, for us to enhance quality education, we need to consider a number of factors, and one of them is the provision of those desks so that they can support the posture of our learners as they learn, as they read, as they write.
To witness the handover of 40 desks to this school, Mafungausi Primary School. The policy of free education seeks to ensure equitable access and opportunities for higher quality education to all children.
Chieftainess Chiawa called for other stakeholders in the chiefdom to emulate Primrose community health.
Extend to other schools within the chiefdom. And also, she also recognized your work in the health sector, your program under AIDS Fund HIV program. So far, I think she's impressed with your work.
Mafungawutsi Primary School head boy thanked Primrose for the desks.
We are so grateful for the guests that today. We had a lot of challenges in terms of desk shortage. From now on, all learners in classes will have somewhere to sit and write in the very conducive environment.
Reporting, I'm Nampiwi.
Also in education news, Mpulungu Member of Parliament Leonard Mbao has expressed happiness with the construction of a 1x2 classroom block at Kasakamulwa Primary School in Mpulungu District. The project is being implemented at a cost of over 640,000 kwacha using the 2023 Constituency Development Fund, CDF.
The government has prioritized the provision of proper learning environment for children in rural areas. In Mpulungu, the government is constructing a 1x2 classroom block at Kasakamulwa Primary School, whose works have advanced. Northern Province Minister Leonard Mbao was in Mpulungu to check on the developmental projects.
What he has shown us here is the hidden potential, the potential that is there, but it was not tapped. And we know, we are very confident to say that we have people who can deliver projects. The President wants to improve the young entrepreneurs, the Zambian entrepreneurs, so that we can take up the mantle of the development agenda of this country. We are not going to develop leaving our people behind, but putting our people behind in front, giving them opportunities like this. They are able now to show us what they are really able to do.
The school is grateful for the additional learning space.
Kasakamulwa Community School, when we started, it was just one hall, that one, and it had nothing. But just after some time, we heard that the school is coming, and within a few, just a space of time, the school was the contractor came into our place, and the school started. We are very, very grateful to the government and to you, Honorable.
And the contractor had this to say.
Next 1 month itina push mulandu wa muela mi nsheshe ya manankane ya ma items mulandu wa kwati limukwale wo muela so na research erwa.
Christine Selu reporting for Zanis in Mpulungu.
And in health news, Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule is impressed with the implementation of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, in Nakonde District. Speaking when he monitored CDF projects in the district, the Permanent Secretary was impressed with the newly constructed 1.9 million kwacha maternity annex at Nteko Health Post, which is said will greatly improve the delivery of quality health services. Details by Joseph Lesulo.
The district has continued to receive significant infrastructure development through the Enhanced Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule had inspected the projects in the district.
Nakonde district is also benefiting quite a lot from the CDF projects. One of the projects that Nakonde has benefited from the CDF is the project where we are starting today, that is at Nteko. This project that we are standing on today is a maternity annex, and it has been constructed out of the cries of the people in Nteko. As you have seen for yourselves, I think you are able to compare the structure that has come out of this construction, compare it with what used to be a health post that you have seen just next to this one.
During his tour, the permanent secretary urged Nakonde Town Council to expedite the remaining works at Ntatumbila Police Post.
The Zambia Police project, police station project at Ntatumbila is almost completed and it's almost ready for commission. So what is remaining, because the police post cannot be commissioned without water. We want to appeal to the council to tell the contractor to start doing this borehole very, very quickly.
Reporting for Zanis in Nakonde, I am Joseph Lisolo.
Let's take our second break. Stay tuned.
Zambia Today is a program that keeps you informed on various government policies and programs. Join us every Tuesday at 18 hours on Zanis TV, Topstar Platform, Channel 6 DTT, and 458 DTH. Don't miss. How I Made It is a program that delves into the many success stories of different people from all walks of life. Watch How I Made It on Zanis TV every Thursday at 18:30 hours on the Topstar channel, Channel 6 DTT, and Channel 458 DTH.
Welcome back. About 700 people are earmarked to benefit from the traditional wetland program under the Food Security Park in Lukulu District. District Commissioner Kelly Kapaku has launched the distribution of the inputs to farmers with a call for the beneficiaries to put the inputs to good use. More in the following reports.
The government is committed to alleviate hunger in the nation with programs aimed at empowering poor but viable farmers with farming inputs. About 700 people in Lukulu District are earmarked to benefit from the traditional wetland component under the Food Security Park program through the Department of Community Development. Lukulu District Commissioner Kelly Kapaku has since launched the distribution of inputs.
Traditional wetlands, the components has a target of 700 beneficiaries in 7 CWACs. Now, do not sell these farming inputs. Let us work together the government agenda, which is ending poverty by the year 2030. The President of the Republic of Zambia has always put farming development as a priority and a basic activity in Zambia. You have seen how we have suffered during the drought period. Now today we are telling you to start or to plant early maturing seed, and that's what have been brought.
In Lukulu District Acting Community Development Officer Jenny Sinkala said the inputs received include D-compound, urea, orange maize seed, various vegetables and chemicals.
We targeted 7 CWACs. Each beneficiary is receiving 1 urea and 1 D-compound, 50 kgs. 200, they are receiving maize seed, which is orange maize, 5 kgs. Then there are other households where they are receiving vegetables. They will receive 2 different varieties of vegetables and chemicals.
The Ministry of Agriculture is also working hand in hand with the department in providing technical farming knowledge to the farmers.
Our officers on the ground, which are the agricultural assistants, have been engaged to teach the farmers on conservation agriculture. You know, from the last season, we experienced a drought. So it was very important actually to help them understand on how they should utilize the little resources they have, especially the water. And at the same time, we also encourage them what are some of the alternative fertilization and nutrients for the crop, in short, fertilization.
Meanwhile, beneficiaries have commended the government for bringing in the inputs in good time.
itume hapo muso busao kone kufuku kwa una mahai kone kuchimbuka kwa wino kwa una kwatala noma witukisa kwa una kone kuitukisa kone kulima masimu nge ulivera lipeu ulineka masimu kone kuchama teni peuze witutile mwakukwa na kuchalea tomato imiliani walusipeze miliani oluka na koleka.
Rita Kabindama, Zanis, Local District, Western Province.
In a related development, government through the Department of Social Welfare in Solwezi District has released over 7,900,000 kwacha for the Drought Emergency Cash Transfer Program. Acting Solwezi District Commissioner Anthony Fulwe, who witnessed the first payment at Mushitala Secondary School, said the intervention is meant to relieve vulnerable households from shocks triggered by the severe dry spell. The news continues. Government has called for improved coordination and response among stakeholders in the fight against gender-based violence, GBV, in Northern Province. Northern Province Assistant Secretary Jordan Mwenya says there is need to devise actionable strategies to prevent further incidents of GBV in the province. Mr. Mwenya reiterated government's commitment to ending gender inequalities and GBV. He said this at the second quarter Provincial Gender Subcommittee Coordination Meeting held in Kasama.
The new Dawn government under His Excellency Dr. Hakainde Hichilema has demonstrated commitment to ending gender inequalities and gender-based violence by putting in place provisions from various instruments, including 1, the Gender Equality and Equality Act, 2, the Gender-Based Violence Act, 3, the National Gender Policy 2023, and 4, Children's Code Act number 12 of 2022. Statistics from the previous quarter highlight the urgency of our task. We recorded 21 cases of defilement, 5 cases of rape, and indecent assault, male 17 and female 80. These numbers represent real people whose lives have been shattered by violence.
Now, a 33-year-old mother of Limulunga in Mongo District of Western Province has appealed to government and well-wishers to assist her physically challenged child with a wheelchair. In an interview with Zanis in Mongo, Naslele Sianga said she is facing many challenges raising her daughter as she fails to leave her alone to engage in any meaningful business. More in the following report by Darlington Kabambe.
A 33-year-old mother of Limulunga compound in Mongo District of Western Province has appealed to government and well-wishers to assist her 11-year-old daughter, Kafuti Kakoma, with a wheelchair. Kafuti was born disabled and she has not stepped her foot on the ground.
Manake yo, unani 11 years aizifa kuzafoni mpepezi kutana koni askaza maka faten problem ya hai imukalile kwa wanana nilikie kumuisa kwa likafuze shito na shitana kono kupalili nebe kwa chesha ho mnene muisizi na inanga kwa teni kono chinchi hwa ibona hali choifa kona ni kupatu uso kwa vani utoka fera kulibani tuseze kwa teni mwanake yo pamana kabuta tabo ni fumana nebe zenieza ndema upiro za pala wakensa mwanake yo.
And Mubita Mubyana, a brother to Kafuti, had this to say.
Manabu tata kwa neko ya upiro wahaya kakuineka ensfale mkamutalimia nzama ya lukintu eza kuineka bashemi bahe bapala kwa tetesi mapiro kuli bashenyeze bako na kushenyeza kwa pala kwa mayonnaise ya kwa kumsiela kyalo kupakuli haba ndikunani bako na kutusa kuli bako na kutalima bako ndisheni ya mwana yale kuli mwendibu piro wako na kubabeta.
Some of the neighbors expressed their concerns.
Upiro wolo izini wona mwana yale uziyele ila holo chene lukupa wateni kwa muso kamba batu babakona kuitombola mukuchisiza chona mwana yale aza mayeweza kuhoba chene kazazi kikuziyele ya holo abatuse bateni mwana yale ulucha kuli mukuchisiza chona hakuna mwako na kusamayela kuhoba pito mukabona fya kuli mutwele mawutwala akakubaha nikazazi
kuyaka upiro wapila mwanana sinamuziba wizi disabled ape sinamuziba upiro wanako boma haba yofa apero mamuso chwalo ma business always ki hand to mouth kona kuli in short ni rukupa kwa tini kambe kwa maweu wishers kapa ni rukupa kwa tini kambe kwa muso ulutuse.
Darlington Kavambe reporting in Mangu District, Western Province.
A veteran football coach in Luapula Province has called for early talent spotting and development among young players if the national team selection pool is to widen. Hendrico Kalowe says among the initiatives to be considered for talent identification is the setting up of football academies across the country. Kalowe, a CAF B coaching license holder, was speaking in Mansa after conducting a coaching session at the Luapula Elite Football Academy. Godfrey Chikumbi attended the training session and now gives us this report.
The Luapula Elite Football Academy in Mansa District is one of the football platforms that is giving young players the opportunity to showcase their talent. The academy was founded with a belief that there are many children in the province who don't get the chance to develop their talent, and so by enrolling them in the program, they will showcase their skill. Hendrico Kalowe, one of Luapula's most qualified coaches, believes the platform will work towards helping kids pick basic football skills at an early age.
I think to me, the way I've seen the boys, they are quite enthusiastic. They want to learn. That's one good thing I've liked them. Then the cooperation among themselves is very high. You can easily see that they want to learn the game of football.
Kalowe is calling on parents in Mansa to consider introducing their kids to football at a tender age.
The important thing to start football at this age is that as they grow, they are going to learn with it. They are going to learn the secrets of becoming a good footballer and the importance of having training at a tender age. On this one, the most important thing is how to coordinate, how to kick the ball, how to those basic skills which can help them to like shooting, dribbling, running with the ball. These are the most important skills.
Dominic Chala is one of the boys that believes his stay at the academy will help him become a great footballer.
A good academy where a lot of people can come and learn things they don't really know. Hence, it has made me a better player than I was before.
What we are learning is incredible. It's nice. We are learning new things, good things, and we are training more better. We are getting more better and better.
For Zanis Sports, Godfrey Chikumbi reporting in Mansa.
On that note, we come to the end of the news, but before we go, let's have a recap of the headlines. Ukraine pledges support to Zambia in first droughts. Government receives 1.6 million kwacha dividends from ZCCM Investment Holding. CEEC distributes fish cages to cooperatives in Senanga. And veteran football coach advocates for early talent identification. Well, that's all we had for you on this bulletin. On behalf of my sign language interpreter, Jennifer Shalionda, and the entire news production crew, my name is Nambula Mwangala. Thank you so much for watching and keep watching the rest of the programs.